Matt Zedaker, the head football coach of the Childersburg Tigers, this morning. Our Coach's Corner brought to you by Community Funeral Home. Coach, good morning. Long road trip last week. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was. I don't think we got off the bus like we needed to right at the beginning. It was a long trip. Didn't show up first quarter and a half, then we finally woke up. But against a good team like Lee Scott, you can't do that. That's on me. You know, I got to do a better job preparing our kids when we take a road trip. But very excited we're back home this week and get to play in front of our fans and be at home.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that game tonight in just a moment, but a little bit more on last weekend's game and what kind of stood out in your mind. You talked about not getting off the bus the right way, and I've heard other coaches say that too, and I don't know why that happened. Sometimes it does.
Yeah, it does. Just I think a couple factors, you know, a young team, an inexperienced team. It was really our first long road trip. We played at Talladega the week before, but that's a 20-minute bus ride, and I don't know. You know, we got to do better with that, and that's what it was.
And Lee Scott's, give them credit. They got a good football program.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a really good football team, and anytime you're playing a good team like that, you got to be at your best as well. And I give our kids credit. We did come out second half. We won the second half, but. Again, it's a moral victory thing that we're not into. We got to be able to put 2 quarters together. 4 quarters together. It seems like right now all we're doing is playing about 2. But I think one of the bright spots last week was our offensive line. They came off the ball really well. Coach Johnson's doing a good job of finding the right mix of offensive linemen right there. And so we felt that was one of the positives coming out of the game. They're starting to gel, and we're going to lean on those big guys again tonight.
I had taken notice of Lee Scott several years ago, and also you've got another team tonight, Glenwood Academy.
Yep.
And these two teams down through the years, they've been a good bit comparable to one another.
They certainly have, and they're not too far from each other down in that eastern part of the state. And they're both academies. So they're private schools. They get kids in there that come from other areas and are able to do that. But it is what it is. I'm glad we got them back to back. We're doing our private school tour right now, but Glenwood's a very good team. They're going to come in, and again, we're going to have to play 4 quarters to have a chance to win this game tonight.
What do they do, Coach, that concerns you?
They're huge. They're very big. They got a big offensive line. They got a big running back, really like a Division I prospect at slot receiver number 2. That once they get the ball in their hands, they're hard to bring down. Defensively, they got 2 monsters. They run a 4-2-5 defense, 2 monster linebackers right in the middle that everybody's trying to run away from. And we're going to try to do the same thing. But they're big, they're physical, and they're disciplined. They've been in their style of what they're trying to do, and they've been doing it well.
Yeah. You talk about the challenges. How do you kind of try to counteract those challenges?
Yeah, so all week it's been, man, let's get better being who we are, and let's put 4 quarters of effort in. We took this week's practice as a game, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's a quarter a week, and if we can be better every day for 4 days, then perhaps that's going to translate into the game. We can be better in 4 quarters.
Of course, tonight's kickoff's at 7 o'clock, Glenwood Academy in Childersburg. And, people watching may or may not realize you're in your first year at Childersburg after several years at Lincoln. What are some of the challenges, not just in your particular instance, but when a head coach from another school goes to another school? What are some of the challenges of being the new kid on the block, so to speak?
Yeah, just coming in and putting your footprint down of what you want to do, changing the culture of where you want to go, your standards of the program, and then just, getting to know the kids. Obviously, we've done that well. And then typically if someone is taking a job over, it needs some rebuilding, and so the whole, everything from changing our schedule to our workout regimen to how we practice and then how we perform on Friday nights, it just takes a minute. What a lot of people don't understand is we only got 10 seniors this year, and we got some injuries right now. And so we're kind of the walking wounded to some very key players that we're hoping to get back in the next couple of weeks. But, challenges is just, getting buy-in, making sure and then that they're doing what we need to do, and then hopefully the wins are going to come, and we feel like they are. you know, this is a very challenging game tonight, but we feel like the backside of our schedule, you know, we'll have
more
some games.
conducive to success, right?
Yeah, and maybe have some games where we're more evenly matched than what we had the last couple of weeks.
And for people who may not realize, it's a very difficult first half of the season for the Childersburg Tigers. And you talked about injuries. You know, I've heard that term, next man up, but sometimes not quite as easy, is it?
Yeah, sometimes the next man up's not ready. You know what I mean? But you got to throw them to the fire and they got to go. But, you know, like we lost Tay Fairman first quarter of the Talladega game, and he's about, you know, hands on, probably one of our better athletes, one of our better athletes in the school, and just a leader, and that type of things, that hurts. We lost another kid this week to a shoulder injury. We got another kid that's nursing a knee, and they're all starters. And so, you know, when you take a senior out and you replace him with a sophomore, you're going to have some growing pains.
This is not a softball pitch to you, but how do you keep the kids' attitudes in check? You know, they've had a difficult first part of the season. How do you keep that in check and keep a positive look at things?
Yeah, you just, you know, you different things you do in practice. One, you got to make sure they're having fun. You know, I mean, it becomes a chore and almost a job if you don't keep it light. You know, a lot of things off the field that you know, just different film work, different things like that, and just keep their eyes in front of where the prize is. You know, that they see what's coming. They do see the improvements. We do a lot of film work from where we started in spring to where we are now, and we show them the improvements. But you know, kids today like that instant gratification. Yep. So that's a challenge. But you know, just keep their eyes on the prize, and it's coming. We really feel like we got some wins coming.
All right, kick 7 o'clock tonight against Glenwood over in Childersburg. Coach, good luck, and we'll talk the Battle of the Tigers next week.
Yes, sir. Let's get through this one, then we'll see what we got.
Coach Matt Zedaker, head football coach of the Childersburg Tigers, I guess. Brought to you by Community Funeral Home. We got more Daybreak in just a minute.